Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing 221G documentation. For those who are unaware, a 221G is generally issued after a visa interview. It's generally issued by an American consular officer who is a member of the U.S. State Department at a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad. And essentially it's a refusal, but under 221G, when we often see this as a practical matter, it's a refusal pending further documentation. They basically say, hey, look, your case is being refused because we want this other document or we want further clarification on something. And generally speaking, if you remedy the deficiency or clarify whatever the issue is, they'll generally then turn around and issue the visa. Now, I know a lot of American practitioners, immigration practitioners, they kind of give me a hard time because I talk about 221Gs very cavalierly compared to what they do because they're on the other side of the world. And they're handling practices that are not as regionally based as we are, where we're dealing primarily with Thailand, but also Cambodia, Laos, a little bit in Vietnam, a little bit down in Singapore and the Philippines. But for the most part, here on the Southeast Asia landmass, and especially Thailand specifically, and to me, at 221G, the embassy's, just a few blocks away. I can't just run in there and deal with it, but we can deal with it pretty straightforwardly. And in the United States, a 221G can really cause a lot of delays. For us, oftentimes, if we get a 221G, we usually are able to remedy it within a few days. That being said, the reason for this video is they've actually changed the format. I'm going to go ahead and throw this up on screen. This is the old form for the 221G, and you can see it's sort of a checklist. They'll have boxes there, and you can see where, we've redacted this so it doesn't show, anyone's name or any specific information. But yeah, as you can see, there's this sort of checklist, and it's all the things that they may want, they may not have gotten, they may need another translation of, et cetera, et cetera. They seem to have replaced this. This seems to be something new. We've only seen this since post-COVID. I don't know if they were doing this during COVID. We didn't deal with a lot of 221Gs in 2020 because we didn't deal with a lot of case processing in 2020 because everything was mostly shut down. Going to go ahead and throw up this one, though, the new one. And as you can see, it does not have the sort of checkbox situation. This is sort of in a template where, just to quote it, it says, the office regrets to inform you it is unable to issue a visa to you at this time per Section 221G of the Immigration Nationality Act, which prohibits the issuance of a visa to anyone whose application does not comply with the provisions of the Act or regulations issued pursuant thereto. Your case is pending and further consideration will be given to your visa application after you obtain and present the documents listed below. And now they sort of are gonna, I think, just enter it in rather than just tick a box. And I understand that because look, 221Gs are not necessarily cookie cutter. It's not just always a matter of, oh, you forgot your birth certificate or something. It's sometimes, especially with issues like domicile, it can be really squishy. It can have a lot of nuance to the analysis of dealing with it. Oftentimes also, as you'll see, that this particular one was issued associated with an affidavit of support. And it's just interesting that they've sort of changed this, in my opinion, to allow for a little bit more flexibility from their officers to issue these 221G documents and more tailored to a case. Now, obviously, when you're processing a U.S. visa case, you don't want to get one of these. But even the best cases, even the most documented cases, sometimes get a 221G. It just happens sometimes, and you have to deal with it. So we certainly assist with 221G follow-up. We certainly assist our clients who've been dealing with this since the beginning of the process in getting 221Gs rectified and hopefully getting the visa issued and folks on their way to the United States.